Kedmel, everyone. Just wanted to do an update for upcoming playthroughs for April and May, as we've got a couple of playthroughs coming to an end. So Plague Tale Innocence, my re-upload of that series has just finished, and Death Stranding is coming to a close as well. I anticipate there's maybe 4 or 5 episodes of Death Stranding left. I haven't played the finale just yet, but I'm very close to it. I'm just in chapter 9 at the moment. So in terms of what's going to be replacing that, this Friday, whether that's now when you're watching this or I've uploaded it the day before, my Witcher 3 playthrough is going to be resuming. I've been busy writing and planning out episodes for that playthrough. I felt a bit rushed before and maybe I hadn't planned it out as well as I wanted to, so that'll be resuming. I'm very excited about that. The first episode is going to have a quest that I've written myself. I've sort of edited and captured the footage in a way that it's kind of a bit like its own quest. So if you were watching that playthrough, that is going to be starting up again. The episode length, it's going to be I'm going to be aiming for 90-minute episodes. Not for this first one. This first one's going to be an hour, but 90-minute episodes, because it's a longer game. It allows me to put more in, allows us to take our time and not rush and plan things out. In terms of the schedule, The Witch is going to be going up on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So once Death Stranding is finished, I am going to be starting the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which comes out on the 10th. So I anticipate that I will start that the day after. It comes out on Friday the 10th, so the Saturday I will be starting the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I am equally excited and nervous to be playing that. So if you don't know, the Final Fantasy games were like the defining game of my childhood, of my adolescence. The PS1, PS2 era Final Fantasy games really were the beginning of my love for story-based games, for the longer games with deep narrative plots and characters that had, you know, group dynamics and relationships, and you know, it was a bit slower. You got to explore and talk to as many people as you can. So I'm very excited about the remake, but I was a bit on the fence about whether I was going to play it or not. You know, you have to be a bit careful when you grow up about investing too much in nostalgia, if that makes sense. You know, because it can lead to you being a bit disappointed. But I have to play it. You know, I have to play the remake. I haven't sort of played as much of the Square Enix era Final Fantasies because, you know, they're not quite the same games, but I figure with the remake it's going to have enough of the old and some of the new that it'll be a nice mix. I'm going in completely blind though. You know, I figured that, you know, I've played through the original Final Fantasy VII 3, maybe 4 times, but I haven't played it for probably 10, 12 years. So I'll have a nice familiarity with it, but I'm going in blind. I haven't watched any footage. I don't know what the gameplay is like. I don't know what the characters sound like, and I don't know anything. I have to go in blind because I know enough of the story already. So I'm very excited for that. I've got my original copy of Final Fantasy VII here. Sorry, just got the light on it. This is the copy of the game that I got in 1997 when I was 8 years old. It was a bit too much for me at that age. I didn't play it through at 8 years old. I played it through a few years later when I could actually understand what on earth was going on. But this was my first experience of a Final Fantasy game. It wasn't the first Final Fantasy game I played all the way through, but it was my sort of beginning of my love for it. So when I do the first episode of the remake, I'm just going to do a little summary of my history with Final Fantasy, why I love the series, what it means to me before we get started with the game. So let me know if you're excited for that. This is going to be the first game I've played at release for quite a while, to be honest. The first 2 games I played on the channel, I think, are the only games I've played at release, which was Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and A Plague Tale Innocence. I don't think I played anything else at release. I mean, Senua's Sacrifice, no. The Last of Us, obviously not. Witcher 3, no. Nier Automata, no. Death Stranding was pretty close to release, but wasn't quite at release. So I'm very excited about that. Obviously, in May, what I will be playing as well will be The Last of Us Part 2. Okay, so I recorded this video a couple of days ago. Obviously, I've woke up this morning and seen the news about the indefinite delay of The Last of Us Part 2. I'm just going to leave the rest of the video as it is. I can kind of prove that I'm a bit of a clairvoyant. yeah, obviously that's not going to be what I'm playing in May because the game's not going to come out in May. I don't think it's going to be delayed too long. I don't know if it's more of a logistics thing with the production of physical copies of the game with Sony. But yeah, I'll be playing it when it comes out. But in terms of, I don't know what I'm going to play in its place. Final Fantasy might go on longer than I expect, but I'll hopefully be able to put some indie games in there. I'll talk to you guys in the comments about what I might put in. So I'll just leave what I actually said about The Last of Us 2 in the video now. Okay. I'm very excited about that. I have a bit of a bad feeling the game's going to get delayed again, just because, you know, the world kind of being in isolation at the minute, and from what you read about the studio, the development of the game at Naughty Dog not being as smooth with the sort of high turnover of staff they've had. I don't know how much to believe all that stuff. You know, a lot of there's not much journalistic integrity in games anymore, so it's a bit difficult to know what to believe from them. But I hope it doesn't get delayed. I hope it is finished and it's as good as we all know it's probably going to be. So I will be playing that. If I've not finished Final Fantasy, I'll have to find a way to get both going at the same time. But I'm too excited about both games to wait. So I will be playing both at release. I'm very excited about both games. The Last of Us Part 2, I kind of regretted watching the trailers. You know, a few people said I should just watch the trailers, and I just sort of went along with it. I generally don't watch trailers for stuff I'm excited about, so ever since I did those reaction videos, and I'm probably never going to do reaction videos to trailers ever again. I'd rather just go and play the game. But I've just ghosted everything. I don't want to see any build up, so I'm trying to cleanse my mind of knowing anything about the game. So I'm very excited for that. Let me know if you're excited for part 2. And yeah, just in terms of, obviously we're all in isolation really. I hope you're all doing all right. I hope you're managing the situation as best you can. Everyone's got different circumstances depending on your job situation. With everyone has to pay bills, pay for food. All depends on what your community's doing, landlords, your place of work, and all that stuff. I mean, I'm asthmatic, so I've locked myself inside. I don't want to even contemplate contracting this virus. So yeah, it's that's maybe one of the reasons I think The Last of Us might get delayed. I don't know how that's going to affect game development. I understand a lot of people could work from home game development, but it slows the process down, doesn't it? So in terms of other games, in terms of recommendations and stuff, I've had I don't know how many it's been, maybe 5 more recommendations to play Detroit Become Human, and yeah, I just can't do it, guys. I'm sorry. I know I'm not going to enjoy it, and no one wants to watch me be sarcastic about a game they probably like. So it kind of just ties into some slightly negative experiences I've had with stuff on the channel. I mean, some people were saying I was complaining too much about Life is Strange 2. And yeah, I understand that I didn't necessarily like that game all the way through. I still enjoyed parts of it, but in hindsight, the further away I get from that game, the more I kind of roll my eyes every time I think about it. And I don't want to have that experience again. I still don't think anything that I said was unwarranted about Life is Strange 2. I think that game has a lot of problems. But I understand that when people come to watch Let's Plays, they don't really come for a critical opinion. They're there because they love the game. If they want to listen to or read critical opinion, they'll go to relevant places. So I understand that, but at the same time, I'll try not to swear. But yeah, it's my opinion. I'm going to give my opinion. I feel like I'm a pretty honest person when I'm doing my playthroughs. I always say what I think. I think I would happily criticize my favorite games. I have plenty of criticisms I can offer for my favorite games of all time. The Witcher 3, whatever. I have things that I have no problem saying I don't like, but yeah, some people don't like to hear it, I suppose. Rose-tinted glasses. So that's the kind of reason why I don't want to play, and I probably never will play Detroit. So yeah, I'm just scratching it. I'm not going to play that game. I had a recommendation for Brothers. I can't remember what the actual title is. Is it a Tale of Two Brothers, whatever it's called? I've had it in my Steam library for years. I bought it in a Steam sale. I've just not played it, so maybe that will go up at some point. I don't know. I've kind of not been playing as many indies, which is a bit annoying, just because I started my Witcher 3 stuff, and it's been running in parallel alongside more mainstream games like Nier Automata and Death Stranding, and now I've got these big releases coming up. So I've just not had time to fit in some more indie titles that I really wanted to play. That I really wanted to play on the channel, like Rime, like the Return of the Obra Dinn, and a few other games like Observer and Observation. I did actually record episode 1 of Observation, but there was something wrong with it. I can't remember what it was. Something wrong with the camera. But yeah, I've got those in my backlog, but they'll have to just go on the back burner. I feel like there's going to be a gap in between The Last of Us and Cyberpunk where I can fit a bunch of this stuff in. I can't remember when the Elden Ring release date is, but I feel like the only games I'm going to be guaranteed to enjoy this year, guaranteed for new releases, will be The Last of Us Part 2, Cyberpunk, and Elden Ring. Doesn't really matter what they do with those games. I know I'm going to have a good time. I'm nervous about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I feel like I'm going to enjoy it, but I don't know what I'm getting into. So, but it's been like that with a lot of games. I thought I wasn't going to like Death Stranding, and I thought I wasn't going to like Nier Automata, and I thought that I was going to like Life is Strange 2. You know, look how that turned out. Life is Strange 2 had good moments, but I think it was a flawed design with the whole parenting thing. Nier Automata, I went in thinking it was going to be a hack and slash with no story, just with a bunch of anime characters dressed in bikinis. Because I don't research games, I don't want to know anything, and I went in and it's an incredibly deep, layered story with interesting characters and a deep combat system. Completely wrong. Death Stranding, I'm not a fan of Kojima, I never have been. So I went in, I just took a punt on it, and it's been fabulous. It really has, and I can't really articulate why I am enjoying it. It's one of those experiences that it's just so unique and novel, and it has so many things that when you try and explain sound so rubbish, but it's just not. It's just not. It's just ineffable. You know, the whole inventory management, and you walk everywhere. If you were trying to sell someone in this game, it just wouldn't work. You know, if you were just trying to describe to them what it is, like, you know, you carry stuff and you walk. Yeah, it's great though. And yeah, so I've loved almost all of Death Stranding. So yeah, I'm rambling for no reason. So that's what's coming up, guys. The Witcher 3 is starting again. In a week, there'll be the Final Fantasy Remake, 7 Remake, and hopefully next month we'll all get our hands on The Last of Us Part 2. So I look forward to seeing you around. Let me know what you're looking forward to with new releases and any other recommendations if you have them. But I've already said what's coming up for the next 2-3 months. So, yep, I hope I see you around. If I fail.